Good morning. Please rise for the presentation of the colors and the national anthem.
Colors, hope. Colors, present, on. Right shoulder, on.
Please be seated. Good morning. My name is Bobby Talibian. I am the Director of the Office of Information Policy here at the Department of Justice. I would like to welcome everyone here to the Department of Justice's annual celebration of Sunshine Week. I am thankful that we can gather here today in the Great Hall after so many years. It's great to see so many new and familiar faces. We welcome you all to the Department of Justice and also want to send a warm welcome to those who are joining us via live stream. We look forward to this event every year, as Sunshine Week is an opportunity for us all to reflect on the importance of open government. As we celebrate Sunshine Week, this year the Department of Justice remains steadfast in its commitment to support open government and our commitment to encouraging agency compliance with the FOIA. It is my distinct honor to introduce today's keynote speaker, the Associate Attorney General of the United States, Vanita Gupta. As Associate Attorney General, Ms. Gupta oversees several of the department's litigation and policy-making components. Before her current position, she served as President and Chief Executive Officer of the Leadership Conference on Civil and Human Rights. The Associate Attorney General is a very familiar face in the department. From October 2014 to January 2017, she served as Acting Assistant Attorney General and Head of the Department of Justice's Civil Rights Division. Of course, though, as Director of OIP, my favorite title of hers is that of Chief FOIA Officer. I have personally appreciated Associate Attorney General's unwavering support and commitment to the department's and the government's overall FOIA administration. Associate Attorney General, thank you so much for being with us here today.
Thank you, Bobby, for that introduction, and more importantly, thank you for your leadership of the Office of Information Policy and the guidance that you provide to the Department of Justice and agencies across the federal government to increase compliance with the Freedom of Information Act and to strengthen government transparency. So good morning. Thank you all for joining us here today at the Department of Justice. It's our kickoff for Sunshine Week, and this annual event is now in its 13th year. But it's all the more special because it's the first time that we're able to come together in person since the pandemic to celebrate the importance of FOIA and the critical role that federal employees, particularly agency FOIA professionals, play in ensuring a transparent, accountable, and effective government. As many of you know, Sunshine Week coincides with the birthday of President James Madison, who is widely regarded as the founder of open government. As President Madison wrote in 1882, a popular government without popular information or the means of acquiring it is but a prologue to a farce or a tragedy. A people who mean to be their own governors must arm themselves with the power which knowledge gives. The passage of the Freedom of Information Act in 1966 marked a historic milestone in our nation's path toward realizing the informed citizenry that Madison envisioned. The FOIA, for the first time, established a legal right of access to government records and a presumption of disclosure, requiring records to be released to any member of the public unless one of the FOIA's 9 exemptions applies. At its core, the FOIA fosters public trust. Trust of those who are charged with faithfully executing the laws are in fact doing their jobs with integrity and in the public's interest. For over 55 years, the FOIA has been used by journalists, civil society, scholars, and everyday citizens to gain access to information about how their government works. I know firsthand how critical FOIA releases can be to shining a light on government policies and programs. I filed FOIA requests during my career outside of government and have been the beneficiary of disclosures that were made possible and indeed mandatory by FOIA. In the past fiscal year alone, the government saw a record high of 920,000 new FOIA requests. During that time, agencies processed over 870,000 requests, released millions of pages of records to the public, and posted over 215 million records on their websites. As the Associate Attorney General, I am privileged to serve as the department's own Chief FOIA Officer, a position that I know many of you occupy in your own agencies. In this role, I have seen up close the substantial agency resources that we dedicate to administering FOIA. In this past fiscal year, we processed 82,868 requests and proactively posted over 39,000 records. At the same time, I am mindful that here at DOJ and across the government, there is a continuing need to do more to meet the ever-increasing number of requests. I'm grateful to both FOIA professionals within the Justice Department and those of you across the government for your work and your tireless commitment to the FOIA and those evolving needs. Here at the Justice Department, we are not only an agency subject to the FOIA ourselves, we also have a distinct role in encouraging government-wide compliance with the FOIA. Last March, the Attorney General issued new FOIA guidelines that update and strengthen our commitment to transparency in government operations and the fair and effective administration of the FOIA. The 2022 guidelines direct the heads of all executive branch departments and agencies to apply a presumption of openness in administering the FOIA. In case of doubt, the guidelines instruct, openness should prevail. The guidelines make clear that the Justice Department will not defend non-disclosure decisions that fail to apply such a presumption. And the guidelines also emphasize the importance of proactive disclosures and removing barriers to accessing government information. Since their issuance, OIP has been working with agencies to implement the guidelines. These efforts will be detailed in agencies' 2023 Chief FOIA Officer reports that are being posted online this week. I'm also excited to announce that today, OIP is issuing new guidance to agencies on applying the Attorney General's guidelines to administer the FOIA with a presumption of openness, including through the application of the foreseeable harm standard that is now codified in the FOIA. Among other things, this new OIP guidance highlights the need for agencies to process records with an eye toward disclosure by applying the FOIA's foreseeable harm analysis on a case-by-case basis, and also underscores the importance of working cooperatively with FOIA requesters. This new guidance is one of the many resources provided by OIP to help agencies fulfill their FOIA responsibilities. Other critical resources include the DOJ Guide to the FOIA and our FOIA Counselor Service. In the past year, OIP has also made available to all agencies new standard FOIA e-learning modules that tailor training to specific government audiences, including senior executives, FOIA professionals, and all federal employees. On September 8th of last year, I sent a memo to all Chief FOIA officers and agency general counsels emphasizing the importance of FOIA training and highlighting these new resources. I urge all my colleagues across government to utilize these resources and to reach out to OIP if there are other training needs that we can assist you with. We are here to help. The department is also excited to lead 3 FOIA commitments aimed at further strengthening government transparency as part of the United States' 5th Open Government Partnership National Action Plan, which Bobby will speak about in more detail. Just last week, OIP fulfilled the first of these commitments by releasing an updated FOIA self-assessment toolkit that allows agencies to objectively assess their FOIA programs with key guidance for improvement. And the department has committed to further enhancing the user experience on FOIA.gov by developing a new tool to help requesters more easily find information and by establishing shared FOIA business standards across the government. More to come on each of these commitments in the coming months. As FOIA veterans among us know, the Justice Department has long held the view that FOIA is everyone's responsibility. But the promise of FOIA is made real by all of you, the dedicated FOIA professionals who day in and day out interact with FOIA requesters, who each year conduct detailed reviews of millions of pages of government records, and who scrupulously balance the FOIA's presumption of disclosure while safeguarding important interests such as personal privacy and national security. Thank you. Today we recognize your work on behalf of the American people to keep our government open and transparent and ensure that this democracy of ours always works on behalf of the public that we serve. So I want to thank you again for joining us today for our celebration of Sunshine Week and for your dedication to public service. Your work is the sunlight required for an open and accountable government. It strengthens our democracy. Thank you all again, and have a very bright Sunshine Week.
Thank you, Associate Attorney General, for your encouraging words, and most importantly, for your support for the department's and government's overall FOIA administration. Over the past year, agencies have worked to overcome the remaining impacts of the pandemic, and they have continued in their steadfast work to administer the FOIA. Agencies continue to explore innovative ways to improve FOIA administration and make information available to the public. As the Associate Attorney General highlighted last year during Sunshine Week, the Attorney General issued new FOIA guidelines to agencies, emphasizing the FOIA's presumption of openness. Over the past year, we have continued our work to encourage government-wide compliance with the FOIA and the Attorney General's FOIA guidelines in several ways, including by issuing guidance and working with agencies to meet their FOIA reporting obligations. I'm pleased to share that all agencies subject to the FOIA have finalized their fiscal year 2022 annual FOIA reports, and all of that data is available on FOIA.gov. Also being posted this week, as the Associate Attorney General mentioned, is Agency Chief FOIA Officer reports, which detail efforts agencies have undertaken since last Sunshine Week in 5 key areas of FOIA administration. For 2023, OIP revised the 5 sections of the report to reflect the Attorney General's 2022 FOIA guidelines and to take into account recommendations by the Government Accountability Office and the requester community, including through the FOIA Federal Advisory Committee. For example, for 2023, we asked agencies to describe steps taken to incorporate FOIA into their agency's core mission, whether they've provided confirmation and response letters that they've applied the foreseeable harm standard, whether they proactively contact requesters as part of the request process, whether they use technology to automate records processing, whether they're compliant with the National FOIA Portal interoperability guidance, and also to provide information, new information about FOIA litigation and the use of unusual circumstances. The 2023 Chief FOIA Officer reports detail a range of successes, which I'll briefly highlight in a moment. But I encourage everyone to take a look at these reports to learn about the work of your agencies, your colleague agencies, and all the things that have been achieved over the past year to improve FOIA administration. Agencies themselves can look to these reports to learn about the successful strategies and best practices detailed by their colleague agencies. As in prior years, the department looks forward to issuing our own summary and assessment of these reports with accompanying guidance as well. Before we present our 2023 FOIA awards this year, I would like to take a moment to briefly highlight some of the very high-level statistics from the reports, from the fiscal year 2022 report, as well as work of OIP, and some of the many accomplishments by the agencies as reported in the Chief FOIA Officer reports. As you can see, during fiscal year 2022, the demand for records picked back up after a few years of lower numbers. In fiscal year 22, the government both received and processed record high numbers of requests. Agencies received over 928,000 requests, a 7.5% increase from the prior record high in fiscal year 28. To meet this demand, agencies also processed over 878,000 requests, also another record high. Over the past year, OIP continued to encourage agency compliance with FOIA in several ways, and we've made progress on several FOIA initiatives. We continue to oversee agency interoperability with the National FOIA Portal on FOIA.gov in line with the FOIA Improvement Act of 2016 and joint DOJ-OMB guidance. Unless an agency has been granted a temporary extension, which can extend to the end of fiscal year 2023, all agencies were required to achieve full interoperability by the beginning of fiscal year 2022. Agencies will be assessed on their interoperability progress in the 2023 CFO report assessments. We also continue to enhance FOIA.gov with an additional new section for the Chief FOIA Officer Council. These new pages provide information about upcoming and past meetings, along with committee and working group updates, including charters and deliverables. Last spring and summer, we were very excited, as the Associate Attorney General noted, to release our three new e-learning training modules designed to meet the training needs of all entire federal workforce. We also made progress on all 3 of the department's commitments made as part of the 5th Open Government National Action Plan, which I will discuss in more detail shortly. As always, we continue to provide tailored advice to agencies through our FOIA Counselor Service and have issued policy guidance on a range of topics. As the Associate Attorney General mentioned, just this morning, OIP issued new guidance to agencies on applying the presumption of openness and the foreseeable harm standard. This guidance addresses the presumption of openness emphasized in the Attorney General's FOIA guidelines and discusses in detail the requirements that agencies may only withhold information if they reasonably foresee that disclosure would harm an interest protected by an exemption or disclosure is prohibited by law. It also addresses discretionary releases and emphasizes the importance of regular communication with requesters as part of operating with a presumption of openness. Last September, we also issued guidance to assist agency FOIA professionals in processing requests involving Privacy Act records. This is the first guidance piece from OIP on this topic. It consists with advice and training that we've been giving agencies over the years to guide them through the analyzing of records under both the FOIA and the Privacy Act to ensure that requesters can obtain the maximum information to which they are entitled, while also ensuring no Privacy Act protected information is improperly released. As we do each year, OIP again issued guidance to agencies in light of our review and assessment of agency progress made in the 2022 Chief FOIA Officer reports. This guidance emphasized the Attorney General's call to post required proactive disclosures promptly and in formats that are most useful to the public. It encouraged agencies to consider establishing alternative means for access to commonly requested types of records and reminded agencies of their quarterly FOIA reporting obligations. Of course, we also continued posting rolling updates to the Department of Justice guides of the FOIA used by agencies, the public, and the courts. Over the past year, we've posted several updates to chapters, and I've kicked off our new cycle of rolling updates. As we previewed last Sunshine Week, and as mentioned earlier, we are also pleased to share that we've completed our revamped e-learning training modules for FOIA. The 3 courses are designed for senior executives, federal employees, and FOIA professionals. The courses are available to upload to your agency's e-learning systems and also may be accessed directly via web browser from OIP's training page. We also updated a 1-page infographic designed to help any federal employee quickly understand FOIA and how the process works. Agencies often include this resource in their new employee orientation package. Finally, we're very excited to have just released last week our updated FOIA self-assessment toolkit. This comprehensive update adds 2 new modules covering proactive disclosures and administrative appeals. We also added milestones throughout the toolkit to address the use of technology, data, and resources, along with the requirements in the AG's FOIA guidelines. Finally, we're also posting fillable versions of the assessment for the first time to facilitate easier completion by agency FOIA offices and general tracking of milestones across decentralized agencies. The release of this update fulfills the first of the department's 3 National Action Plan commitments. In addition to updating the self-assessment toolkit, we have made meaningful progress on our other 2 National Action Plan commitments. First, we've kicked off the development of a shared business FOIA standards in line with the Federal Integrated Business Framework. We're leading an interagency working group to develop the foundational elements of the standards and look forward to making these available for comment later this year. We've also made great progress in the development of our guided user tool on FOIA.gov to help requesters locate available records and more easily navigate the FOIA process. The tool will use a combination of logic-based and machine learning methods to suggest available records and agencies in response to user search terms. We look forward to releasing initial versions of this tool later this year and to continue to get feedback to refine it and improve it. Of course, we also continue to co-lead with OJIS, the Chief FOIA Officer Council, which has had a very active year, especially through the work of its 2 committees. The Technology Committee revamped its working groups and planned deliverables after coordinating multiple events in early 2022, and the working groups of the Committee on Cross-Agency Collaboration and Innovation continued their work by surveying agency FOIA professionals on various topics. Finally, OIP continues to provide and update many additional resources listed here, which I encourage agencies to use. Over the past year, agencies continue to achieve success in many areas of FOIA administration, even as they continue to overcome lingering impacts of the pandemic. Their efforts in these 5 key areas tied to the Attorney General's FOIA guidelines are detailed in their Chief FOIA supports, and I would like to highlight some of them briefly. One way that agencies have demonstrated their commitment to FOIA is by making FOIA a part of their core mission or goals. For example, here at the Department of Justice, our strategic plan includes multiple references to FOIA and emphasizes the importance of this law as a part of a broader effort to strengthen policies foundational to the rule of law. The National Archives and the Department of Housing and Urban Development also incorporated FOIA into their strategic performance plans. The Defense Intelligence Agency reorganized multiple FOIA offices concerning records, FOIA, and oversight into a single office under the DIA Chief of Staff, signaling a commitment to modernizing agency information management. And here at the department's own ERNRD works across the division to ensure that FOIA needs are considered when implementing new systems. Of course, Proper training is essential for successful FOIA administration. In addition to attending OIP-hosted training, many agencies provided training to their FOIA staff throughout the year. For instance, the Department of State, Export-Import Bank, EPA, the U.S. Postal Service, and the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau all detailed different ways they provided essential training to their FOIA and non-FOIA staff. The department has also encouraged agencies to conduct outreach to the public in addition to what occurs as part of the regular FOIA process. Multiple agencies held conference calls or public forums with requesters to explain the FOIA process and provide suggestions for how requesters could tailor their requests to receive responses more quickly. For example, the Executive Office of Immigration Review held a public forum specifically on their new process that they developed to provide records of proceedings outside the FOIA process. Proactive disclosures are, of course, critical to how agencies can keep the public informed without the need of a FOIA request. Agency Chief FOIA Officer reports contain a wealth of examples of proactive disclosures. For example, the Department of Education posted multiple resources for communities seeking to provide educational services to immigrant students, including a newcomer toolkit containing information on welcoming and supporting the students and their families. The Office of Government Ethics makes a variety of disclosures concerning agency compliance with ethics requirements. Their database of ethics documents includes ethics program review reports, which contain review of agency ethics programs and recommendations for improvement. The Federal Reserve System makes many resources available on its publications page, including its Financial Stability Report, summarizing its current assessment of the stability of the U.S. financial system. And the Office of Justice Programs releases information about funding awards made by various offices in the searchable database on the Bureau of Justice Assistance website. Agencies continue to look for ways to improve efficiency through the use of technology. Multiple agencies, including the Centers for Disease Control and the CIA, reported exploring the use of artificial intelligence to assist in the review process. The FDIC implemented a new platform that allows users to automate portions of the redaction process, for instance, by copying redactions from similar requests or redaction templates and redacting based on established keyword lists. DEA is also exploring new tools to aid in its initial review and organization of emails and attachments. In furtherance of removing barriers to accessing information, particularly for common types of records sought by first-party requesters, multiple agencies reported providing alternative means of access outside the FOIA process. For example, the Department of Education handles requests for student loan and civil rights investor records outside of FOIA. The Forest Service allows internal job applicants to request certain records directly from HR, providing the employees feedback to prepare for future vacancy announcements. The Executive Office for the United States Trustees allows parties to access certain bankruptcy case creditor meeting records directly from the field office. And the Pension Benefit Guaranty Corporation reported releasing certain pension records to first parties directly from the Office of Benefits Administration outside of the FOIA process. The government could not accomplish all of this without the FOIA professionals who work diligently each year and every day to administer this law that is so fundamental to our democracy. FOIA professionals demonstrate their dedication to this important work by communicating with requesters in a spirit of cooperation, tediously reviewing records to make release determinations, and working to identify ways to improve their agency's overall FOIA programs. The department has long recognized the key role of FOIA professionals in implementing the law. In presenting the 2023 Sunshine Week Awards, we are pleased to have the opportunity to acknowledge a small representative of the many exceptional public servants who work in FOIA. This was an incredibly competitive year. We got the most nominations that we have had ever gotten, and so we were very happy about that. I am now going to turn it over to Lindsay Steele, Chief of the OIP's FOIA compliance staff, who will be announcing the awards.
All right, thanks, Bobby. This year, we have 5 categories of awards. The first category is for exceptional service by a FOIA professional or team of FOIA professionals. This award recognizes exemplary performance and exceptional contributions by a FOIA professional or team in carrying out the agency's administration of the FOIA. We have 9 awards in this category. Our first award in this category goes to 2 government information specialists from the Department of Justice, Federal Bureau of Prisons, Office of General Counsel. Santos Arellano and Sandy Raymond are expert processors, trainers, innovators, and mentors. Their exemplary performance resulted in BOP's central office reducing its FOIA backlog by over 30% in 8 months and averaging 6.5 days to process requests on the simple track. Mr. Arellano is a self-starter who worked to improve the office's responsiveness and consistency. His work ethic, calm demeanor, and ability to account for second and third order effects led to the central office updating its FOIA procedures as they implemented a new FOIA administration program. Ms. Raymond's critical analysis of procedures and innovative thinking led to a significant reduction in the central office's backlog and an increase of old requests being processed. She also cultivated positive relationships with records custodians and made them aware of their obligations to conduct thorough searches and provide records to the FOIA office. After analyzing the central office's success in revamping its procedures, BOP changed its entire FOIA program in early 2023, and both of these individuals provided invaluable input to the program's overhaul. Mr. Arellano and Ms. Raymond were nominated by Mr. Eugene Boehm, Supervisory Attorney of the FOIA PA section at BOP. Thank you both for your exceptional service. Our second recipient of the Exceptional Service by a FOIA Professional Award goes to Rosemary Killoy, Assistant General Counsel in the U.S. Commodity Future Trading Commission's Office of General Counsel. Ms. Killoy leads CFTC's 2-member FOIA team and closed a record number of FOIA requests in fiscal year 2022, including all outstanding fiscal year 21 requests. The team ended fiscal year 22 with only 3 backlogged requests, a significant decrease from the number of requests that were backlogged earlier in 2022. Ms. Killoy engaged in open dialogue with requesters and agency colleagues to maximize efficiency and allow the FOIA team to comprehensively and quickly process all FOIA requests, including highly complex and voluminous ones. She also provided individualized FOIA training to multiple new commissioners and exhibited considerable skill in mentoring new FOIA colleagues who worked to adopt improvements in daily operations. Despite competing priorities and loss of staffing during the year, Ms. Killoy persevered with exceptional professionalism, skill, and expertise. Ms. Killoy was nominated by John Einsman, Deputy General Counsel and Chief FOIA Officer of CFTC. Ms. Killoy, thank you for your exceptional service. Our next recipient of the Award for Exceptional Service by a FOIA Professional goes to Ms. Billy Belcher, Paralegal Specialist and FOIA Officer for the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers Huntington District, and she should be joining us via live stream. The Huntington District's FOIA workload is one of the largest in the Army Corps of Engineers, and Ms. Belcher is the primary reason that the district has been able to timely process their requests and close out fiscal year 22 with 0 backlog. She has built a team of professionals inside and outside her office who efficiently identify and process records. Ms. Belcher demonstrates an encyclopedic knowledge of the FOIA process and is dedicated to growing the agency's understanding of FOIA by training new staff and records custodians. She is frequently sought out as a resource by other district paralegals and attorneys, as her advice is generously offered. Through her careful attention to detail and communication with records custodians, she's able to elicit additional information that can be released, resulting in increased transparency. Ms. Belcher was nominated by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers Huntington District Counsel Paul Loftus. Thank you, Ms. Belcher, for your exceptional service. Our next recipient of the Award for Exceptional Service by a FOIA Professional goes to Lieutenant Nate Boziak, Head of the FOIA Branch General Litigation Division in the Office of the Judge Advocate General at the Department of the Navy. Lieutenant Bosiak has exhibited an extraordinary level of professional knowledge, impactful leadership, institutional commitment, and a tireless work ethic during this past year. Responsible for managing the office's FOIA program, including processing FOIA and Privacy Act appeals for the busiest of the two FOIA appellate authorities in the Navy, Lieutenant Bosiak spearheaded the processing of 795 appeals with an average processing time of 32 days and 114 requests with an average processing time of 5 days, all despite the considerable obstacles lingering from COVID-19, high seasonal turnover among active duty and reserve attorneys, and personnel constraints. Lieutenant Bosiak also personally developed and delivered Navy-wide FOIA training, both in person and virtual, attended by more than 100 prospective staff judge advocates across the fleet and Marine Corps. Lieutenant Bosiak was nominated by Sean Schrock, Director of the General Litigation Division of the Office of the Judge Advocate General. Thank you, Lieutenant Bosiak, for your exceptional service. Our next recipient of the Award for Exceptional Service by a FOIA Professional goes to Sandra Lesh, an attorney advisor in the Environmental Protection Agency's Region 9. She is also joining us via live stream. Ms. Lesh has been a leader in developing and refining Region 9's centralized FOIA procedures and eliminating its FOIA backlog. In the role of project manager, she kept key program divisions focused on the substance and timing of complete FOIA responses. She also became a super user of the Office's e-discovery platform to better train teams performing document review and ensure quality control in production. She also volunteered to serve on the National FOIA Office's FOIA Training Committee to address the training needs of the EPA FOIA community at large. When EPA Region 9 lost a consummate FOIA professional with the recent retirement of its longtime FOIA officer, Ms. Lesh used her knowledge and energy to seamlessly step into the role of FOIA officer to bridge the gap pending the selection and training of a permanent replacement. Ms. Lesh was nominated by Jeffrey Prito, General Counsel, EPA. Thank you, Ms. Lesh, for your exceptional service. Our next award honors a team of FOIA professionals from the U.S. Marine Corps headquarters. Team members include Sally Hughes, Deborah Cantoy, Michael Peters, Deanna James, Kelly Fortier, Tara Walters, and Justin French. The headquarters Marine Corps FOIA team administers the FOIA program for the entire Marine Corps worldwide. The concerted efforts of the entire team led to an unprecedented 91% reduction in the backlog, despite personnel turnover and vacancies in the field. The team regularly provided quality customer service, receiving over 5,000 requests for support and assistance from members of the public, media, and other requesters, as well as FOIA practitioners throughout the Marine Corps. The team received frequent positive feedback from requesters who were impressed with the assistance provided, and comment cards have indicated that they found the FOIA team's service to be helpful, professional, and delivered in a way that made them feel their concerns were taken seriously. The headquarters FOIA team also provided individualized training to Marine Corps commands around the world while developing a training program that they will take on the road this spring to provide in-person training. The team was nominated by Christopher Julka, Department of the Navy FOIA Lead and Public Liaison. Thank you all for your exceptional service. Our next award in this category goes to the Department of Homeland Security's Privacy Office FOIA team. The FOIA team improved DHS FOIA operations by making substantial modernizations to the FOIA IT infrastructure, providing new and expanded training opportunities, and assisting other DHS FOIA offices with the processing of requests, in addition to closing their own 73,000 requests. Overall, their work helped DHS process over 500,000 FOIA requests in fiscal year 2022 and maintain a backlog at less than 10% of the number of requests received. The FOIA team made upgrades to the IT infrastructure now in use by most DHS FOIA operations. The system went live this year at over 10 FOIA components and is providing DHS FOIA analysts with powerful tools that will reduce the backlog and improve protection of sensitive information. The FOIA team also expanded FOIA training opportunities for all components, hosting monthly training events to promote the individual development of FOIA professionals across the agency. Katrina Pavlikinen, Deputy Chief FOIA Officer in the DHS Privacy Office, nominated the Privacy Office FOIA team for this award. Thank you all for your exceptional service. Our next award for exceptional service by a team of FOIA professionals goes to the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers Memphis FOIA team. The Memphis FOIA team navigated new challenges in the aftermath of Hurricane Ida by exemplifying public service as a public trust and timely processing a significantly increased number of requests and ending the year with no backlog. After the extensive damage caused by Hurricane Ida in August 2021, FEMA tasked the Memphis district with delivering Operation Blue Roof in Louisiana, a free service to homeowners that protects property, reduces temporary housing costs, and allows residents to remain in their homes while recovering from a disaster. This was a catalyst for FOIA requests from the public, including many disaster survivors. The FOIA team quickly expedited the processing of the Operation Blue Roof request, which required partnering with colleagues in other districts and employees on the ground in Louisiana to best leverage the agency's database capabilities and respond to requests. The FOIA team demonstrated great empathy for the 100+ survivors with whom they had direct contact, effectively managing their concerns and timely processing their requests with integrity, professionalism, and care. 70% of responses were provided on the same day. Through this experience, the FOIA team was able to share lessons learned with other districts and divisions involved in emergency operations. The Memphis District FOIA team was nominated by Lieutenant Colonel Robert W. Green, Deputy District Commander, the Memphis District, U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. Thank you all for your exceptional service. Our last award in this category goes to the Pension Benefit Guaranty Corporation FOIA team. The PBGC FOIA team, which primarily serves the retirement community, provided quality customer service as they shifted to a 90% digital disclosure operation. The team provided support and step-by-step instructions for requesters experiencing challenges with the encrypted and electronic delivery of records and continued to provide hard copy delivery when needed. The PBGC FOIA team addressed internal training needs through a self-development model where team members conducted trainings based on their own perceived areas for improvement. This contributed to the team executing over 50 training opportunities throughout the year. Additionally, the team's use of performance metrics and review of processing data, they were able to close out fiscal year 2022 with zero backlog and reduce the processing time for complex requests from 19 days to 15 days despite an increase in requests. The PBGC FOIA team was nominated by Camilla Perry, Disclosure Officer, Office of General Counsel, PBGC. Thank you all for your exceptional service. Our next award category is for outstanding contributions by a new employee. This award recognizes exceptional performance and notable contributions in carrying out the agency's FOIA responsibilities by a new employee with fewer than 3 years of work in FOIA. We have 4 awards in this category. Our first award in this category goes to Juan Vega Sandoval from the Federal Emergency Management Agency, who is viewing the live stream. Since joining FEMA a few years ago, Mr. Sandoval has ranked #1 in FOIA closures each year since he started. In 2022, he alone closed nearly 1/3 of the overall number of cases for his office. Mr. Sandoval also served as the main coordinator of the agency's COVID-19 FOIA request, working with major program areas, partner agencies, and task forces to proactively identify records to help expedite searches, an approach that became the standard procedure for responding to future high-profile requests. He has assisted with additional special projects for FOIA, conducted trainings, and volunteered to perform overtime to provide direct support to survivors of Hurricane Ian in 2022. Mr. Sandoval was nominated by Katrina Pavlik-Keenan, Deputy Chief FOIA Officer in the DHS Privacy Office. Mr. Sandoval, thank you for your exceptional service. Our next award in this category goes to Ms. Gail Davis from EPA's National FOIA Office. Ms. Davis joined the office in 2020 and immediately contributed significantly to the EPA FOIA community. She led process improvements that significantly reduced the average time EPA took to adjudicate requests for expedited processing down to an average of less than 4 days in fiscal year 2022. Ms. Davis also led EPA's internal process for tracking and communicating with White House components on FOIA consultations. Through her greater organization, commitment, and effective communication, she reduced the turnaround time on these consultations and dramatically reduced the number of pending consults at any given time. Ms. Davis's work on these and other improvements have significantly contributed to EPA's FOIA community. Ms. Davis was nominated by EPA's General Counsel, Jeffrey Preto. Ms. Davis, thank you for your exceptional service. Our next award in this category goes to Heather Olson, who is from EPA's Office of Air and Radiation FOIA team. Ms. Olson started her career at EPA in 2020 with no previous FOIA experience. Her work focuses in part on processing senior officials' calendars, something many of us as FOIA professionals are familiar with. In a little over a year, Ms. Olson has completely transformed the way the FOIA team processes calendars. Through her leadership and deployment of innovative solutions in processing the calendars and in coordinating review of other offices and equities, the time to process these requests decreased by more than 50%, effectively doubling available resources to either respond to other FOIA requests or devote time to other priorities. Ms. Olson's novel methods also reduced OIR's 60 calendar FOIA request backlog to a nearly zero backlog in a matter of months. Ms. Olson was nominated by EPA's General Counsel, Jeffrey Preto. Ms. Olson, thank you for your exceptional service. Our next and final award in this category goes to Emily Blitzer from the Department of Health and Human Services, Office of the Secretary's FOIA Privacy Act Division. Since joining the OS FOIA staff in February 2022, Ms. Blitzer implemented several process improvements leading to greater efficiency in initial request taskings and in overall processing times. She was instrumental in the team's ability to reduce its backlog for the first time in 5 years. Ms. Blitzer also improved the office's consultations process, resulting in faster responsiveness to the originating agencies. Additionally, she led initiatives to develop and maintain the standard operating procedures for the office. Ms. Blitzer was also instrumental in developing metrics that leadership used to project workload and resource needs through fiscal year 2025. Ms. Blitzer was nominated by Ariane Perkins, Director of Initial FOIA Requests in the FOIA Privacy Act Division in the Office of the Secretary at HHS. Ms. Blitzer, thank you for your exceptional service. Our next award category is for exceptional advancements in the area of IT to improve FOIA administration. This award recognizes exceptional achievements in greater utilizing technology to make information more accessible. We have one award in this category. Our first and only award goes to Erin Miller, Director of Disclosure for FOIA Operations in the Department of Homeland Security Privacy Office. Ms. Miller leads FOIA staff in processing requests received by the Privacy Office, helps to manage the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency's FOIA program, and manages other component FOIA backlog projects. In fiscal year 2022, Ms. Miller significantly contributed to technology advancements at DHS. In transitioning her team to using a new case management system and processing platform, Ms. Miller strategically used her staff to develop the new workflows and quickly get up to speed on using the system at a high level. She also performed speed tests in the new system, which will contribute to verifying performance metrics and developing a work plan to reduce staff turnover. Ms. Miller also worked with DHS's OCIO to develop a tool to automate a monthly FOIA report, which will save the Privacy Office countless hours involved in manually creating the report, as well as reducing errors. Katrina Pavlik-Keenan, Deputy Chief FOIA Officer in the DHS Privacy Office, nominated Ms. Miller. Ms. Miller, thank you for your exceptional service. Our next award category is Exceptional Advancements in Proactive Disclosures. This award recognizes exceptional advancements by an agency or team of professionals at the agency to proactively make more information available online. We have one award in this category. The award for Exceptional Advancements in Proactive Disclosures goes to the Health Resources and Services Administration. A group of employees from the HRSA FOIA Office, Bureau of Primary Healthcare, and Office of General Counsel all work together to streamline the process for disclosing information from its uniform data system. This data system tracks the performance of health center program awardees and includes some confidential commercial information. The new process streamlines HRSA's coordination with business submitters and the internal review process. HRSA estimates that the new process will save 160 to 200 personnel hours annually. As a result, the data, which is of significant public interest, can be posted to HRSA's FOIA library more quickly. Ariane Perkins, Director of the Initial FOIA Requests in the FOIA Privacy Act Division of the Office of the Secretary at HHS, nominated the HRSA staff for this award. Thank you for your exceptional work to improve proactive disclosures. Our next award category for this year is for Lifetime Service in FOIA Administration. The Lifetime Service Award recognizes those professionals with at least 20 years of work in FOIA who have demonstrated high standards of excellence and dedication in the administration of FOIA throughout their careers. We are presenting 4 Lifetime Service Awards this year. Our first award goes to Kathy Willis from the Fish and Wildlife Service at the Department of the Interior. Ms. Willis has been the FOIA officer for the Fish and Wildlife Service at the Department of the Interior since 2003. During her tenure, she has increased the productivity of her staff, established productive working relationships with program personnel and FOIA requesters, and made strategic and innovative changes to the operations of the Fish and Wildlife FOIA program that will be enshrined as best practices and promoted department-wide. Ms. Willis has been a trusted advisor to Fish and Wildlife Service leadership, providing outstanding direction and guidance concerning the FOIA. Her dedication to the full and fair administration of the FOIA, combined with her impressive analytical ability, management proficiency, emotional intelligence, and work ethic, have substantially improved FOIA administration at the Fish and Wildlife Service. Ms. Willis is an exemplary member and leader in the department's FOIA community who has made time to mentor and support her colleagues in other bureaus and provide essential support to the departmental FOIA office. Rachel Spector, Deputy Chief FOIA Officer at the Department of the Interior, nominated Ms. Willis for this award. Ms. Willis, thank you for your exceptional lifetime service to FOIA administration. Our next Lifetime Service Award goes to Kendall Cooper from U.S. Strategic Command at the Department of Defense, who is joining us via live stream. Representing the U.S. Air Force and USS Stratcom, Mr. Cooper has provided 20 years of exemplary service administering FOIA programs, first as a uniformed Air Force paralegal, then as a civilian legal office manager, and culminating in his current role as the FOIA, Privacy Act, and Civil Liberties Manager at Stratcom. Mr. Cooper is highly respected across DoD for his technical expertise, adherence to FOIA principles, and prompt and professional communications with members of the public and at all levels of the DoD. Additionally, Mr. Cooper's strong adherence to the principles of disclosure and reasonable segregation have reduced the overall quantity of appeals and litigation, which have in turn improved processing timelines. During Mr. Cooper's tenure, 2 complex combatant commands, U.S. Cyber Command and U.S. Space Command, grew out of Stratcom to become their own unified commands. While both commands were establishing their operations and administrative functions, Mr. Cooper carried out their FOIA, privacy, and civil liberties functions while simultaneously fulfilling Stratcom's mission. He also dedicated many hours training new personnel for those commands on managing their FOIA programs. Overall, Mr. Cooper regularly goes above and beyond what is expected. Colonel Laura Calise, Department of the Army Staff Judge Advocate, nominated Mr. Cooper for this award. Mr. Cooper, thank you for your exceptional lifetime service to FOIA administration. Our next award in this category goes to Ms. Carrie Shenter, District FOIA Manager for the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, Mobile District. Ms. Shenter has worked for over 20 years in various FOIA positions across the Army Corps of Engineers and is well known throughout the agency as a FOIA expert. She began her FOIA career in the Walla Walla District, where she served as FOIA officer. In 2006, in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, Ms. Shenter accepted a temporary duty assignment at the Hurricane Recovery Field Office in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, where she handled FOIA requests related to the recovery effort and assisted the field office in many other ways. She joined the Mobile District in 2006, when she immediately cleared the existing FOIA backlog and continues to successfully manage one of the largest FOIA workloads in the Army Corps of Engineers. Her performance consistently demonstrates expertise and efficiency and a willingness to collaborate with colleagues and requesters to ensure a successful FOIA administration. Ms. Shenter has continued to seek and take advantage of opportunities to share best practices, such as by hosting FOIA webinars and developing resources for employees across the Army. Most recently, she has worked to develop and present agency-wide FOIA tutorial sessions designed to improve processing efficiency. Lieutenant Colonel Robert W. Green, Deputy District Commander of the Memphis District, nominated Ms. Shenter for this award. Ms. Shenter, thank you for your exceptional lifetime service to FOIA administration. Our last award in this category goes to Wanda Calderon, the EPA Region 2 FOIA Officer. Ms. Calderon has demonstrated high standards of excellence in the administration of the FOIA program throughout her career of over 35 years with EPA. Ms. Calderon is passionate about customer service and undaunted by complexity. She has faced significant challenges in FOIA program administration, including being the only full-time person handling FOIA responses for the region until 2020. During the pandemic office closures, many hard copy records were inaccessible, but Ms. Calderon worked skillfully with other divisions and requesters to ensure that requesters received their documents as expeditiously as possible. She is a pleasure to work with and has succeeded with her colleagues in bringing down the backlog in the regional FOIA program. Jeffrey Prito, EPA General Counsel, nominated Ms. Calderon for this award. Ms. Calderon, thank you for your exceptional lifetime service to FOIA administration. We would also like to take a moment to recognize a public servant from EPA who unfortunately passed away during 2022 while serving in her position as the Chief of the Office of FOIA, Privacy, and Litigation Support for EPA's Region 4. Luann Gross was known for her high standards of excellence and embodied the purpose and goals of the Freedom of Information Act to her staff and the more than 70 lawyers who make up the Office of Regional Counsel. Her philosophy for openness and fairness carried over to her interactions with the public. Ms. Gross was available to discuss the status of FOIA requests with any requester, from the largest law firms and media outlets to first-time requesters, treating them all with the same level of respect and courtesy. Ms. Gross's FOIA track record demonstrated her excellence and dedication. She never hesitated to assist with the review of the most complex requests. She demonstrated results by maintaining a zero FOIA backlog in EPA Region 4 for 24 consecutive months. She recognized potential in staff and developed them both professionally and personally. Ms. Gross always made time to listen to her staff's concerns and provide a thoughtful, reasoned, professional response, making her highly respected by subordinates and coworkers. Ms. Gross won multiple awards and recognitions for her service and was an active member of her community. She had a meaningful impact on EPA's FOIA administration and will certainly be missed. That concludes our award ceremony. Congratulations again to all of this year's award recipients. I'd like to now turn it back over to Bobby for closing remarks.
I would like to thank our award recipients for their valuable contributions to FOIA administration. Through their work and the work of thousands of FOIA professionals across the government, we continue to further the FOIA's purpose in helping the public better understand the work that is being done by their government. Sunshine Week offers an opportunity to recognize these accomplishments while we also continue to strive for further progress in the coming year. As we briefly highlighted today, agencies are continually evolving their FOIA programs, their use of technology, and their methods for making more information available and useful to the public. None of this could be done without the work of dedicated FOIA professionals and leaders across the government here with us today and via live stream, who bring enthusiasm to their work, innovative ideas, and commitment to their work every day, dedication. Before we conclude, I also want to thank OIP's FOIA compliance staff and the OIP staff here today that made this event happen. And with that, thank you all for joining us. I hope everyone has a very great Sunshine Week.